Hey everyone, it's me Hallease, endeavoring to persevere as always. If you're new here, I make videos about my chaotic good life. Subscribe, follow, social media, all of the things. I'm actually in San Francisco right now at the Adobe office here, saying goodbye to everyone that I've gotten to work with over the past almost 365 days. My Adobe residency is coming to a close. I'm not pressed. You're pressed. In this video, I'm going to explain everything I did for Adobe throughout this year-long residency, how my project then fit into my residency program, and then finally, I'm going to cue some A's and talk about what the future looks like for me post-residency. I did quite a few things for Adobe in this past year. The biggest thing, the thing that I think maybe some of you even know me from now, is Adobe Creator Camp. Essentially, it's a class teaching people Premiere Pro completely free and open to the public. I did that for Adobe, creating 5 lessons going over the basics of how to open a Premiere Pro project and start working in the program, all the way to exporting out your first video. If you're interested in joining Creator Camp and getting access to those lessons, I will put a link down in the description box. Definitely check it out. Again, it is a completely free course on how to use Premiere Pro that you can take. The next thing actually just recently launched, which I'm really excited about. It's Adobe Creator Lab. I got the opportunity to then go to New York and work with 368. At the time of filming this video, the second episode of the series is now out. And in that series, myself, along with 2 other mentors, teach these creator campees everything we've learned, this amazing week-long mini summit for content creators. And that series was completely filmed by 368 and is being released right now on the Adobe video channel. So I will link down below to that as well. Definitely check it out. The next thing I did for Adobe was in-app tutorials. So literally, when you open up Premiere Pro and you take the in-app tutorials, you see a girl. Okay, I am there walking you through how to do different aspects of post-production in Adobe Premiere Pro. And so that's been really cool to actually literally see myself inside of a program that I've been working in for years and years and years. Now, towards the end of my residency, Adobe was finally able to start opening up and allowing for travel and whatnot. And so towards the end, I actually got to go to my first NAB and speak on different aspects around color correction and color grading in Premiere Pro. It has been such a joy to work with a company that just really invested time, money, and resources into me to get me to the next phase of my career. So keeping that in mind, here's everything that I had pitched to Adobe, and here's how that went. My original project was a 3-part project. The first part was producing This Could Have Been an Email. At the time, it was called Hardly Working. I wanted the opportunity to transition my career to narrative filmmaking and narrative storytelling, and so my residency project was the show. And as y'all know, episode 1 came out February 10th. To critical acclaim from y'all. Thank you so much for just believing in the project, believing in me, believing in the team, believing in Evelyn. And now, as y'all know, we have just wrapped filming on episodes 2 and 3, and we are in post-production, hopefully to bring those episodes to this channel very soon. The next big thing that I pitched to the Adobe residency team was the Trying to Be Somebody video podcast that focuses on mostly BIPOC artists and creatives, focusing on their creative career with the goal of helping you. I am about 10 years into my career now as a professional videographer, filmmaker, digital storyteller, content creator, whatever you want to call me. And there are so many things that I wish I could have done differently, or there are so many times that I always wish I could see others just a little bit ahead of me in this career path so I could just have someone to bounce ideas off of. And so that was why I created the Trying to Be Somebody podcast, a way for others to see themselves represented in media, because our road to success looks a lot different than our white peers. Season 1 is about to wrap. We have, I think, 2 more episodes that need to get released. And then after that, I need to figure out what to do with a season 2. Are y'all interested in a season 2? Maybe yes, maybe no. Let me know in the comments below. And if you are interested, who do you want me to try to get on the podcast? I would love to hear your feedback. The other thing I pitched to Adobe was continuing to teach on Skillshare, and I picked the Skillshare platform specifically because of its accessibility. Skillshare, as y'all may or may not know, is an online learning platform with a ton of classes and courses to find your creativity, explore your creativity. I really enjoy teaching on the Skillshare platform because of its accessibility and price. Other teaching platforms generally cost a lot more money, and you pay a lot more to only get access to one class. I want there to be more diversity in storytelling overall, and I feel like a big, important part of that is meeting people where they're at, financially, creatively, technologically, meeting people where they're at. And so for me, it's been such a joy to teach on the Skillshare platform and be that spark for you to tell your own story and just try and play, whether it be as a form of therapy or because you genuinely want to learn a new skill. I'm actually working on my next class right now on Skillshare, which hands down, y'all wanted lighting. I will be teaching 1-point lighting, 2-point, 3-point, going over the basic fundamentals of lighting. Whether you have no budget to some budget, I'm going to show you how to light yourself. And then all the while, of course, doing behind the scenes, documenting my existence here on this channel. So that way, if I ever become a hashtag, no one can say anything. There is a primary source account of my life and my existence here on this plane. Thank you so much to everyone who has stuck with me through this channel. We've been on a wild ride this last year and even beyond. It has been a time, but wow. So with all that being said, what now? My residency is concluding. What we finna do? I don't know. Slightly pressed. I'll essentially be going back to good old W-9 land, 1099s, come on. But I'm excited because, again, the goal of the residency for me was to show what I can do as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, and I think this could have been an email really does show that. Also working on beginning to shop around the pilot to different festivals, which we've already gotten into a few. Oh my gosh, we've gotten into so many so far. As a way to hopefully seek representation potentially, like it's that time, need an agent officially. I will always be on this channel in some way, shape, or form because I love the creative freedom that having this YouTube channel provides. But I think I am also ready to lend my creative voice, my storytelling style, my cinematography style even. I'm open to starting to experiment and expand the teams of people that I work with, the creatives that I work with as well. Maybe this could have been an email can become a 22-minute full-length comedy show that lives on a distribution platform like ABC or Peacock, something like that. Maybe I finish This Could Have Been an Email, and then, every year y'all get some sort of narrative scripted storytelling thing here on this channel, and I crowdfund for it and build for it or bring in sponsors and things like that. Who knows? Oh. No, you're good. Oh, yeah, go for it. Now, with all of that being said, let's A some cues about the Adobe Creative Residency. Let's say some cues. I got my notes here, okay? Were you assigned a mentor that sort of coached you to refine ideas into what you have accomplished within the residency? If yes, how was it working with said mentor? If no, what did you do to make sure you had a sounding board for all of your ideas? I did have a mentor. My mentor was Maya Table. She's an amazing director based out of Atlanta, Georgia. She has worked on a lot of different music videos. She just finished directing a episode of Shaquille O'Neal's show. Like, she's out here, okay? She's out here doing the thing. And it was such an amazing experience to have another Black woman. She's probably at least 5 or 6 years ahead of me in her career, to to just guide me through the process of navigating everything with This Could Have Been an Email. It also ended up being really amazing because she ended up being the director of the pilot and now episodes 2 and 3 of the show, which was also really gratifying and amazing as well because I think it says something when your mentor can see how much you're working on a project and see the vision of it and then want to be a part of it, because full disclosure, we could not afford Maya as our director, and yet she was there. What do you think made Adobe pick you for the residency? So I think Adobe picked me because my project was so community focused. The Trying to Be Somebody podcast, again, trying to be in my community, talking about having an artistic career and lending my voice to that discussion and wanting to help people, talking about my Skillshare classes and wanting to have an accessible way that I can teach people how to tell their own story using, obviously, Adobe's software. Adobe's really focused on trying to cultivate community all the time. And so I think for them, having a resident who understands the value of adding to community, I just really aligned with their overall goal of community. And so I think moving forward, whenever you're trying to apply to different residency programs, I think it's just very important to align your pitch deck to obviously benefit you, number one, but also in an organic way, hopefully benefit the brand's overarching goals. All right, next question. How are you feeling now that the residency is wrapping up? Oh, here's the thing. I'm feeling good overall that the residency is wrapping up. I have lived in W-9 freelancing land for most of my professional life. And so coming into W-2 land for a second, dipping a little toe. So again, as an Adobe employee, I got a full salary with benefits for the year. It really freed me up mentally and emotionally to then work on the Trying to Be Somebody podcast and work on the show, and had the mental capacity to do that because money just wasn't the main thing I was worried about anymore, which is a big part of being a freelancer. I think your baseline stress level is just a lot higher because literally if you don't work, you don't make money. Stepping back into that life now, I do feel a little like, and unfortunately it's a very familiar feeling to me as a former freelancer getting back into it. So, I'm feeling a little pressed. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, whoo. I'm waiting for my last Adobe check to hit, and then I'm gonna be like, ugh. So I'm feeling a little, but I also am excited. I'm excited to be back here more. And so I'm excited to get back into just being more regular here and talking to y'all and creating content on here. I think the other thing that's always hard with a program like this is you just find yourself asking yourself constantly, did I make the most of it? Did I really seize this opportunity as much as I could have and talk to enough people and networked with enough people and, did my best for the work that they wanted me to do, and then also did the best for my project? Like, you're always gonna feel like you didn't quite do enough, I think, but it is what it is now. It's basically done. Do you see yourself continuing to freelance or going back to full-time agency work? I will continue to freelance and run Stumblewell, my production company, as well. The point of my residency was to try to transition Stumblewell away from traditional client production work and gear it almost completely towards original content. And I think I am very much closer to doing that because of this residency. It'll still take time. A year is not that much time. So I definitely think I've gotten there, but I have a nice jump start, if you will. Were you allowed to take on additional outside work? Technically, no. The big thing you saw me do was the Target Series convos with CEOs, but I had actually gotten the opportunity to do that right before I found out I got the residency. So that was why I was able to do both. But generally, they only want you taking on work that enhances your career in tandem with the residency. How did your Patreon play a role in tandem with the residency? So I feel like with the Patreon and patrons, y'all know, I would talk to y'all a lot about what I was working on within reason. Obviously, Adobe NDAs and stuff, I couldn't tell you everything I was doing. And that was my way of maintaining the content on the Patreon. Is there a certain age limit to apply? yes and no-ish. They really want someone who's about mid-tiered through their career. I think in my application, it was about 3 to 5 years of experience because I wanted to get into narrative filmmaking. In that regard, I only had about 2 years of experience with that. Have there been any past residents who were parents and had children already? I am not sure. To my knowledge, no, but the residency has been going on for 8 years now, I want to say. And so I'm not entirely sure. Are you able to have a series of projects, or should it be one specific project for the year? It seems that you've had several projects through the year. Yeah, so my specific project with the residency, as you saw, was a 3-part thing. But there have been past residents that had one project, that was their goal, that was what they did. So for example, Temi, his project was a poster a day, period. Went on his Instagram, that was what he did. I can't say with any real certainty that it's better to have a multi-tiered project or a single project. It really is about making sure, again, that you're making sure that whatever your project is, it betters you overall throughout the year and also aligns with Adobe. Here's a good question. Where do you feel the residency could have improved in its layout? It's hard to say because the residency, my year, is still a COVID year of the residency. So Adobe wasn't officially allowing people really to travel for the company until just recently. And generally with the residency, you're supposed to go to different conferences and events and network and all of that. On the one hand, I could feel like, I missed out. I didn't get to travel as much and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do as the Adobe Creative Resident, right? But I actually am grateful that I didn't have to travel as much for my residency because it allowed me so much more time to work on my show and also to do everything that I did with Adobe Creator Camp. I can't imagine how hard it would have been for me to do the show well and do the show justice, because the show is how I'm trying to get my career to the next level, and then still need to travel and present and do all of the stuff that usually most Adobe Creative Residents do. I think the other thing too was, and this isn't really a knock on the residency itself, but more my style of working for people. Since in my mind, this is a W-2 job, I really focused very heavily on doing my job for the residency. And I don't feel like I leveraged the true breadth of the Adobe network the way I could have in regards to just meeting with the Adobe Hollywood team, entities in that way, and just putting on that networker hat and knowing who to reach out to, and just to get that kind of stuff going. I think I just kind of, I don't want to say I played it safe because, but I think I played to my strengths. I feel like networking is not a natural strength of mine. I just really had a hard time even thinking about knowing how to navigate such a large entity like Adobe, ask for what I need when I kind of don't even have the language to know what I need. But I wish I would have been a bit more upfront and just communicated, even if it meant just communicating that I don't know what I don't know. All right, I think that is a wrap on the questions. Again, if you have any more questions, please let me know down below in the comments and I will try to get to them as soon as humanly possible. Y'all, what a year. Can we speak on it? I'm just really grateful. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to do this and to make the connections I have made as I talk to you right now. Fiona is behind the camera, sitting there, working quietly. And I also feel grateful to now be a part of the past residents. I'm so excited to see whoever they have next and to be able to offer my advice and my voice to them and, calm them down when they're going through hard times in their residency. Past residents have reached out to me and been like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I'm Hallease, endeavoring to persevere as always. If you're new here, I make videos about my chaotic good life. Please subscribe, follow, social media, all of that kind of fun stuff. Big shout out to my Patreon producers, patreon.com/Hallease. There you get early access to these videos as well as private weekly vlogs from me. It is a good time. time. You can also check out YouTube Join if you're curious as well. There I do early access as well. Again, I'm Hallease, and I will see you when I see you. I think that's a video. That was it? I'll say like that, that was that.